To celebrate the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield, they bring us a Nintendo Switch Lite. This is the Zacian and Zamazenta edition, kind of like a special edition. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. This I actually bought for my wife for Christmas, so don't tell her. If she's watching this video, that's obviously ruined the surprise. But we haven't really been competing for the Switch in my household that often. I thought it would be really cool to try this out as the portable edition and have it in the collection because it is one of the more unique editions that I've seen, and probably the best one out, obviously, for the Nintendo Switch Lite. But you can comment below, do you like the 3 colors that are released, or any of those 3 colors, or this version? This was released 1 week earlier than the game was, which is kind of strange. And by the way, I was able to pick up a double pack, so thank you to my friend Jordan for helping me get my hands on this. This one comes with both games. I'll check that out towards the end of the video, so I'll just leave that on the side. So this double pack, of course, you have Zacian, the blue character that we're using here, of the blue design, and then on the right side, Zamazenta, and the box packaging looks pretty standard. I'm happy Nintendo went back to this red. It looks pretty neat, even the stylization on this. But let's open it up and see what this comes with. Now, unfortunately, to give you a warning, this does not come with the games. So you're looking at paying $200 US, not getting the game with it, only getting the system and the AC adapter, and this is only handheld mode. So you can't take this and plug it into your HD TV. It doesn't switch, even though Nintendo's calling it a Switch still, which to me is kind of a huge drawback. It's a little bit smaller as a system, and if the Joy-Cons malfunction, you cannot detach them from the system, but that's all the negatives. The positives, still, it's kind of smaller than the Nintendo Switch, which I will compare it to in a moment, and it's obviously portable, so it can't really fit in your pocket. I don't think it's small enough to do that. I just want to see what else is in here. Not much. Okay, so we have the giant AC adapter, which is still the huge port that plugs in the wall. Nintendo, please stop making these and make them really small, the portion that sticks in the wall, and put a little bulkier part later on. And then you have the Nintendo Switch health and safety information and guidelines. So that's what's in the box other than the system itself. So here is the beautiful system. I do love this, especially the coloring system here. The gray harkens back to the original Nintendo. The white almost brings an homage to like the Wii. And then the colors here are really unique to this system. I like the design of just having the different colors on both sides, kind of representative of Pokemon, I guess, Sword and Shield with those 2 colors. The screen size is smaller. There's still a giant bevel or bezel around this system. And you have the minus button, the plus button, the take a screenshot button, the power button, the 2 Joy-Cons, which are now permanently attached, a real D-pad this time rather than the individual buttons that are on the Joy-Cons. Individual buttons on this side, of course, and we also have the triggers, so you have ZL and L, and then ZR and R. This is where the game goes into. You have some fans up here. A headphone jack is on top. I might have liked that better on the bottom. It's still going to be out of the way if you have the cord wrapped around or straight up. You could probably get it out of the way. The volume buttons and the power button. And then you do not have a stand from my liking with this. I wish they still possibly... Actually, what's the point of having a stand with this? Maybe you can connect controllers to this as a player 3 and player 4, but that wouldn't really quite make sense. On the bottom here is where you put your micro SD card. It goes in the bottom, and the charging port is still on the bottom, just like the other original Nintendo Switch. To give you a good image of the 2 characters on the back, you have Zacian here holding the sword, and Zamazenta standing there as if it's a shield. I really think the design of these games is good. I'm liking how they moved away from colors, and they moved away from numbering systems, or I should say letters like X and Y. And now they have different names for the game. Sword and Shield really does pair nicely together, and this is the most beautiful handheld Switch. That is the Switch Lite. Anyways, but what are your comments or what are your thoughts on this being a handheld-only system for $200 US, $260 in Canada? Now let's just compare this to the original Switch console. I'll just hold them up side by side so you get a pretty good idea. It is considerably larger. I'm actually surprised. I thought it would be really similar in comparison. Of course it is, but it looks like it's more than an inch shorter and maybe 3/4 of an inch shorter than it. So lengthwise, maybe this way. Height, it's about 0.75 centimeters, or I should say inches shorter than it. And with the attached Joy-Cons, you really do know the difference, or notice the difference with the D-pad here compared to the original buttons on the Switch over here. Now I have a ruler just to give you exact measurements of this system. So let's take this out and see in centimeters this system. Let me hold this up maybe a little bit better. So in centimeters, it looks like the system is roughly 190 to 200 centimeters. That's a lot. Millimeters, so 20 centimeters. And then vertically in height, it looks like it is 9 centimeters tall. So the screen size, in terms of diagonal, it is 140 millimeters. And I think they announced that because I remember. So this is smaller, it is more portable, but it's still a gigantic piece that you probably can't fit in your pocket that easily. You can definitely take this on the go with some sort of a protective case. What I don't like about this is, yes, there's no stand. If you're watching a video on YouTube or something of the sort, there's no stand for this system that I can see. You might be able to buy some sort of a case that has a stand built into it, but just having a flip stand just like this one on the original Switch was a really simple, elegant design choice that I really enjoyed. Not being able to detach the Joy-Cons, obviously, is a deterrent, but I think the D-pad's a little bit better. The screen is really large for a handheld system. This does remind me a lot of the original PSP. Now that I'm thinking about it and holding this, it looks remarkably like the original PSP. Of course it does, just because it's a giant screen with some buttons on the side. But let me know what your thoughts are as a comment below. And let's also take a look at this Pokemon Sword and Shield double pack. This includes download codes for Dynamax crystals. On the side, you just have the name of the games with blue and red checkerboard pattern, which looks pretty neat. On the back, it kind of describes the game, so you can just read through this briefly. A wild new adventure with Pokemon. You can battle to be the best. Neat, and it's got a picture of the two protagonists and some of the Pokemon around it. Also, what is your starter that you are choosing? I'm not sure who I'm going to start choosing, or start with a game with, basically. I really did want to see the evolutions of the characters once we were at the point where the game was released, and I could look at them and kind of, yes, spoil it for myself, but I really wanted to see what they looked like. In here we have not a lot, but you do have the two games. And there are codes here as well for the new Dynamax Pokemon. So you have Shield and Sword. These ones pair really nicely together no matter which way you put them. I like the design, of course. On the back it says something of the sort, you can battle to be the best. It looks identical, just the color scheme is swapped over basically. I think there's a few different images on here that I've noticed with the different weather systems and locations. You can tell that there are some different images chosen. And if we take a look at one of the games, inside you have the Galar region, I think it's called, or Galar region, that is more vertical, and a little copy of the game right there with no instruction manual. None of these do have them. Now there are some of these versions that have a steelbook included. This was not this case for this particular version. Jordan's getting one with a steelbook allegedly on Monday, hopefully, which would be cool to see at some point. So maybe I'll be able to post a picture of Instagram of his copy of that one at some point. But you can comment below. What was your starter Pokemon? Which game did you choose? What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch Lite Zacian and Zamazenta edition? And if you were picking this one up, I don't know how limited edition this one will be. They might have more copies in the store throughout the holidays, or they might have just shipped all of them out already. The store that I bought this one from, and I bought this today actually, so over a week after this was released, but one day after the game Pokemon Sword and Shield was released, they still had one more copy of this in the store after I bought this one. So if they sell out, who knows? But I think this is the coolest edition that you should probably pick up for a kid for Christmas, or for any Pokemon fan like my wife. I hope she's not watching and this ruins it for her. But anyways, put this back in the box and wrap it up for her for Christmas. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to comment below about all that good stuff. And remember, as always, go follow me on all the links at the bottom of the video. And remember, go collect them all and keep smiling while gaming. Thanks for watching, everyone.